Hello?
Hello,
Can you,
hello. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, great. And then how do we record this?
At the end of the live, there will be it'll automatically like download it,
Oh, no
or
way.
you can it'll save a copy of it, and then yeah, we can both or you can just download it.
Okay. We can probably you can do the editing if you want. Do you want me to turn off the comments or not?
No, no, I think comments would be good. I feel like this is a better version of a podcast, anyways, because it's like a live podcast people can interact with. I think it makes more sense.
True. That is true. We figured it out. No longer have to figure out how to pay Zoom or Google.
Yeah, yeah, boy. Yeah, so data science and crypto. See, the thing is, you're like the expert, I'm here to like learn, I think. So you might have to lead the discussion a bit.
Okay, well, do you first have any questions about
Yes, define what it means to be a data scientist in 3 sentences or less.
what does it mean to be a data scientist? Well, a data scientist, on the simplest term, is someone who analyzes data. And there's multiple ways to analyze data. Back in the days when things are not based on computers, it was a lot harder to analyze data. You get your pen and paper out and draw a graph. You can't really do much with the data you have, and there's limited amount that a human can compute. So now with computers, we can take those data at scale. Like we can take billions of rows of data and then build visualizations, do correlation analysis, do machine learning models. We can do a lot of things with data now. And the purpose is different, but at the core, it's essentially trying to ask a question and then answer it and give the most insights to whoever is looking at it. I think the term scientist comes from actual scientists, right? Like being a professional data scientist that works at a bank is sort of similar to being a scientist who works in a chemistry or a biology lab because you're using some sort of analytical techniques to try to understand the truth. But for businesses, you're trying to grow revenue, and for um, biology or chemistry lab, you're trying to understand how the system works.
Mm. Okay, okay. So like, what would you say the most important reason I should learn about data science is?
Well, you should learn about data science because you can learn about the truth of how the world works. Like, most people lie, and if they can lie, they will lie, and you probably won't be able to um, really learn what's the truth about it. You know how, like, so back to my dating data videos, which offends a lot of people, but like, usually girls, when they say that you should, when girls give tell the guys like, oh, you should be nice and you should court them and don't ever give up and height doesn't matter and looks doesn't matter. And you can see that from the data as shown in the dating apps that it does matter. Like, yes, people say one thing, but then they go back home and they put their Bumble filter to above speed only, and then
Yeah.
you think like, oh, you're the only one that does that, but you can get data points of a bunch of users on these dating apps, and you can see that people care a lot about heights. So that's just one example, but many other things as well. Like being a data scientist is almost the opposite of being a fictional novel writer because you're really basing everything off the truth and the stories you tell is around the truth, and sometimes it's very hard to hear because, well, no one really wants to learned that, oh, if they're under 6 feet, then your chances of dating reduce by half now.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. So do you think like a lot of people's like do you think data science reveals the fact that some people may think they think a certain way? So maybe like you said, people might not think that they actually have such a preference for any statistic. Maybe it's what attractiveness of people they're pursuing. They might think, yeah, I don't put that much thought into it. If they're a good person, blah blah. But then you're right. Maybe like through data science, you can reveal, oh, they have this unconscious tendency towards this other thing that they didn't maybe even know that they felt. You kind of understand what I'm saying?
Repeat it one more time.
Okay, okay, I'll try to make it more clear. So some people might think they hold a belief, but then through data science and analyzing their tendencies on if it's dating apps or website usage, you might reveal that they actually act in accordance with a different belief that they might not even necessarily know they hold.
That's a very good point. To be honest, like it almost solidifies the thing that I already subconsciously know I'm doing, but I can't really verbalize it out loud, you know? Like there are certain
Mhm.
things looking at these data and I'm like, oh yeah, like it does make sense. I do see it. I feel it, but I can't put out in words what it exactly is or if I'm like hallucinating these phenomenons. So like an example of that is uh, when you talk about like um, girls preferring guys who are tall. Like I probably see like, oh yeah, like between two people and one is a lot taller, you just suddenly get attracted to them. Like I even remember like when I was in high school, which I knew nothing about the time, and there was the guy that was the tallest guy in class, and I thought I was the only one who had a little crush on him, but apparently a lot of girls does. And his face wasn't even attractive; he was just really tall. And then that just like made a bunch of girls flock to him, and you see that over and over again till today. Um, but now like it's more solidified.
Hmm. Yeah, okay. I mean, it does make a lot of sense. Yeah, I think it's good to acknowledge it too because um, I don't know. I guess it's just like it's almost taboo nowadays to like say an opinion that kind of might be even rude or something. Like people might hear you say, yeah, like maybe girls have a tendency towards tall guys, and then some people act like you just said some messed up stuff. You know what I mean? Like people like I guess that's a struggle when you're the one interpreting data because it's kind of like a shoot the messenger situation where you're just trying to report on it and then people take that as like a personal attack.
I'm attacking them. they should they should just like I don't know. Sometimes I accept it too. Like there are data against women as well, and I look at it. And I'm like, oh shit! Like I probably should act on it. It's like data-driven insights, you know. Like I look at the females' fertility curve by age, which significantly drops after 30, right? And then
Mhm.
also your dating options or like how much men find you attractive also drops after you're 30. And then I could literally sit here and be like, you know what? Fuck all the men, you know, like, and then say, this is so unfair. They should like me because there's more to me, whatever. But realistically, we are all like animals. Like peacocks and peahens have been around and they are literally like their sexual selection of that's why peacocks look the way they do and
Mhm.
the things look the way they do. And now knowing that, you know, it's going to be a lot harder when you reach 30, like I probably should try to find a partner now and not wait too long. Just to increase the chances. It's not like it's impossible by the time you're in your 30s, or if it's impossible to find a partner if you're like under 5'10, but it's just like you need to put in extraordinary effort or you should start acting on it now. And also, sometimes accepting the truth is like a part of stoicism, like, well,
Yeah.
the world works, then I don't have to be delusional and be sad about it.
Yeah. Oh yes, it's yeah, stoicism is great, you know. It's but we have a comment here by Crispy Bacon 3. I have a tall friend and all the girls go to him even when he's not single. Um a lot of my guy friends I've talked to express that they get more attention from girls when they're not single. Like if they're always like, yeah, if the times when you have a girlfriend, it seems like girls are more interested in you. And then I tell them like I imagine it's just because you're kind of nonchalant, you're not really interested in them, and then maybe that's just like it's a pretty typical like psychology thing where you want what you can't have type of thing.
Mm,
So maybe that contributes to it.
yeah, that's interesting. I actually agree with that, but additionally, it's more like women also wants men that are approved by other women,
Right,
like
right, yes, yeah.
wants what is popular or what other people wants. So like why do we all want diamonds? Is because the other guy wants it and you compete for it and then the price goes up. And then also as a woman, you always have a sense of like fear that like you're gonna get abducted, raped, hurt, you know. So when a man has all of his needs met by having a girlfriend, he doesn't give off that hunter energy anymore. So I feel more comfortable with guys that have a girlfriend and like are not interested in me as well. So then like I just feel like, oh, we can just be like buddies. And maybe because of that, to some girls, like they let their guards down more and they talk to the guys more, and then it could be either misconstrued as the girls are flirting on them, or it could mean that like maybe the girls are more interested in guys than has a girlfriend.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Okay, I have a deep data science question. So, pre-selection, yeah, this guy's got it. I think that's the term, like social validation or something.
Yeah,
But so do you
but
think that data science is at the point, or do you think it'll get to the point soon where it can like interpret or interpolate kind of traits about somebody that's not like directly given through a website? So like maybe there's a pretty famous data science thing about Target advertising to a woman about like baby clothes and stuff. And then she's like, what the heck? I don't have a baby. And then like 3 months later, she found out she's been pregnant for a while. And it's like, it can go kind of far, I think. So do you think it's kind of at that point where these companies are finding out like too much about us?
they probably can. Like with enough data, you can predict a lot of things. Like we are more programmable and predictable than we think, and you can use data science on everything around the world. Like sometimes we feel, in my personal opinion only, but like sometimes we feel like we're better than nature because we are so smart and we can talk to each other. But we are made by nature, and a lot of rules apply to us, and how we act are following some sort of laws in nature already. So data just uncovers that, and then maybe other humans take advantage of that to sell more clothes, sell more stuff. Or maybe you could say it's delivering you something that you didn't even know you wanted yet, but it's also a part of convenience. Like, I mean, if someone knows what I want and then delivers it to me, like, why am I complaining about that? So
Yeah.
I'm kind of pro data science, but I'm really biased as well. Um, Usually it does anonymize the user as well. So it's not like they're specifically targeting you alone and seeking you out and giving you these ads. It's just based on an algorithm. Figure it out that, okay, if you do XYZ and you exhibit ABC, then you're more likely to do this target thing. And then we send you off that ad. And that actually creates a lot more efficiency in the world because when the person gets pregnant, well, guess what? They are going to start finding diapers, they're going to start buying baby clothes, and they're going to have to look anyways. So now it's the app delivered to you, and I think that's a good thing. But I mean, if you have a more black swan perspective, that could you could have like some opposing opinion on whether or not that's good or bad. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm kind of in the same boat. I like getting ads about stuff I'm interested in, right? If I'm browsing or if I'm just looking at TV and it's randomized ads, I do find it's like, half of this is not relevant to me. Like I don't need to be getting an ad for tampons or something, right? And that's something that you probably get ads for that, right? And so it's like
Exactly.
I would rather see whatever, there's like some weird men's soap stuff that I always get ads for and stuff, but
I don't want to see that either. So
yeah, yeah. So I think in that sense, it's really good. There's a lot of like talk right now about Apple and some like relationship with China on how like they're kind of being um, asked to introduce like a backdoor type of thing so that if there's anyways, it's like a big breach of possible security. So I guess that's not really data science. That's more like cybersecurity, I guess. But
yeah,
uh,
actually, that's a good point. I always wonder where should we draw the line because it would be super helpful if we know this specific user ID. I don't even need to know your name, but if I know like a lot of things about you, it would make it streamline a lot better. Essentially, look into what they are doing so that I could build a better model and serve them better, study them better, and then deliver things better. But now that we say that, oh, like that's really creepy, you know everything about me, then yeah, where do we draw the line for that?
yeah, yeah.
But because we want to draw the line because we want to be private, or is it because we feel that what we're doing is embarrassing, or like is being fully transparent with our life a good thing as well, or is it not a good thing? I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, I think privacy is definitely like pretty important, and but at the same time, like again, not so important that I like personalized recommendations for stuff. I like opening up YouTube and having Google know like my personality to an extent that it'll show me videos that I'm really interested in, right? And I'm sure a lot of that data gets. I know a lot of data gets like sold and stuff, and people can almost essentially like buy a package about your preferences and stuff, whatever. We do have a couple comments here. FBI ordered Apple and Google to gain access to 41,000 cloud storage. I don't know if that's gigabytes, terabytes, people's. 41,000 is a lot though. So, um, and then also Grumpy Cat is here. I don't know who that is, but it's pretty lit.
Yeah, that
Um,
reminds me of that one episode in Black Mirror where they trace this kid and they put him through this punishment game, and
mhm,
it
yeah.
ended up keep giving him more punishment and then eventually putting him to jail. And it's because through tracking and knowing what everyone does on the internet, they found out that this guy was buying kiddie porn. Like,
Mhm.
was a pedophilia. So is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. But
Yeah.
maybe it could mean that you were stopping criminals. Like, imagine if we built a data science algorithm where we can predict the future gun shootings at schools based on a person's search.
Mhm.
Like, based on all of these previous past shootings, this person has searched for X, Y, and Z, and therefore he's more likely to host a gun shooting. Isn't that like a good thing? But that means that we have to get access to everyone's data and everyone Google search preferences, and everything is monitored. So at the expense of everyone's privacy, maybe we can prevent gun shooting. Is that something we want? I don't know.
Yeah.
As-
Yeah. That's a really relevant conversation because I think it's Apple who just announced that they're going to be like using AI to sort of scan people's cloud storage, and then look to see if there's pictures of kids, like too many pictures of kids, and in an attempt to, yeah, like catch like child, whatever, pictures and stuff, right?
Mhm.
So like a lot of people express concern about the fact that so something's like looking through my pictures. It's not necessarily a person, but I'm sure there has to be some kind of person reviewing it to sort of help the AI engine learn, whatever, however it goes. So same thing, yeah. Like it might stop a lot of like abuse against children, which is obviously super amazing. And then yeah, the trade-off of potential privacy concerns. So I guess yeah, it's like kind of a question that some people need to be talking about going into it, because if nobody's talking about it, these companies get to decide, I guess, what's right and what's wrong with how they use their software.
Yeah, I agree. And they do have like GDPR now that try to steal data, but companies buy data, sells data. Data is the secret sauce of everything. They need it to survive. They need it to be competitively, and um, like they have to do it in order to stay in the game. So I don't think that it's going away anywhere. And of course, with human greed, I'm going to assume that people are going to want more and more data, whereas people like you and me probably have less and less control over our data, which is a good or a bad thing, I don't know, but we'll have to see when we get there.
Hmm. Okay, what's your professional opinion on people saying that, their phones hear what they say and then they get served an ad that's relevant to what they were just talking about? Do you think that's like they've just searched it up more lately and then that's why it's showing up in their ads? Or do you think there's actually some level of that going on?
Hmm. I don't think the phone listens to you all the time because that would take a lot of time and resources and energy. But what I also find is that we are not as original as we think we are. Like what we're thinking about or what we are doing is very repetitive and very common. It could mean that whatever we are talking about right now are influenced by the next person, and through social network effect, like now we are thinking about that. And that thing simultaneously is also super popular on social media. So when you're just talking about it with your friends, now you are seeing it on social media and you think that your phone is listening.
Yeah, makes sense.
I really doubt it. I don't know, because that would mean that your phone would die every 2 hours, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah, a good point. I agree. The mediator wants to hear our opinions on dating apps. He thinks they're essentially cash cows. I guess I'll go first. My opinion. I mean, I think a lot of people kind of get like sucked into them, and like, there's some people who are just, yeah, spending like $50 a month just to like try to get as many matches as they can get, and it's like, I don't know. I don't think you like should be paying for it. That's kind of like thirsty, you know. But I think you can just use them. Like I'm not using them right now, and I probably won't for a while. But
so you're
um,
right now.
sorry,
You're not using them right now.
right? Um, yeah. So like, I don't know. I think they have their place, and I think it can be like a fun thing to use. I just don't think you should go overboard with it, and like it can also be like very distracting. Like it's kind of a social media that you'll see maybe like a message or a match or however it goes, and you'll be like super excited, and then it's probably like kind of screws over your productivity for the day if you're trying to do work and you get a message from somebody or a match, and then there's like probably a very high dopamine system going on when you're like swiping and stuff. So that's what I think. What do you think?
Well, it's literally like designed and optimized to get your attention and stay in the app as long as possible. And they replicate the deck of cards that makes it like very easy to use and very, very familiar and very addictive. But that's also the reason why it became popular, because we actually chose it in using it. Like most of the time, like when videos on TikTok go viral as well, like it's not because like that person is purposely trying to do something. It's just that we put a bunch of videos out there and some of them catches the attention and then it goes like super viral. And like that's the same thing with apps. Like it's the product market fit. It's not really like they are trying to manipulate you, because they really can't manipulate you, but you use what you like the most, and subconsciously this is what we like using, and they see data on it and they build more on what would be the most addictive. I use dating apps because I mean I work from home. There's no other way to like meet people. Um, I mean, it would be nice to meet people through friends of friends, but as you grow older and as you work from home, like I don't even know how to meet people anymore. Dating apps is the second best after that, but I do have to admit, like, dating apps are bringing out the most superficial thing in us because, well, what else are we basing it on? Like, there's nothing else to judge from other than what we can filter on, which is looks, income, and, well, the job titles that people have on there. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then age. Uh, so that's why we're superficial on those apps. When you meet in real life, that's a whole nother story. Like, I'm sure, like, we all have met really attractive people, but we're not attracted to them. Like,
Mhm.
we've also met people that are not conventionally attractive, but we're like, wow, like, this person is super cute.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Yeah, I like. I don't know. I don't think it's like a good maybe long term strategy for meeting somebody you're super compatible with. I don't know. Maybe it is, but I do think that yeah, like it. The graphs that you show in your videos, like it usually tends towards like the top X percent of men and women get like a weight. It's like the 80-20 rule, right? Basically, like 20% of the people are getting 80% of the matches. And I don't think it's like necessarily great to be using it. Like there's some guys I've met that are just like so thirsty on them, and it's like dude, you're like paying $50 a month, like aggressively swiping right on everybody. Like put that energy into like going to the gym or something instead, maybe, you know? But I think if you're just using it like every so often for like some fun or yeah, like meet new people, it's like a good way to socialize if you're home a lot. So I don't think they're inherently a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I don't lie. Sorry, this guy's like the only thing I don't lie about on dating apps are my looks and height. Not gonna lie, my Tinder profile will be lying like a Persian rug.
You're quite a funny one. Yeah, but I agree. Like, but the thing is, like, dating apps and all these apps, it's not evil. It's not trying to say that we are superficial. It's because we are superficial and exposes us by showing us the data because they can track and record and measure and put it all together and then show us. Um, Back in the days, it was the same thing too. Like, not many people get to marry, and there was systems where the king get to have a harem of women living in a castle, and they all fucks the king and no one else. And then any men who works in the palace have to have their dick chopped off so that they can be around the men's
What the heck?
the king's woman, yeah, that is a thing in China. It's very popular, and the top percent of anyone will get the most, like the Pareto principle or the inequality gap, whatever you call it, or the Lorenzen curve. They're everywhere. Like, if you look at income inequality in Venezuela, it's the same as the curve of Tinder dating matches,
Mhm.
where you would hope that the top 10% of income or the top 10% of looks get 10% of the matches, so on and so forth. But the reality is the top 1% gets 99% of the matches. And so it makes it really hard for everyone to compete. And is that because we are humans or we are animals, so we want the best of the best for natural selection? Or like, how do you even solve income inequality? Or maybe we have become like so greedy that this is what it looks like now. I don't know. I don't know.
Mm.
But what I know, that less inequality is better for the system overall. Like Canada is a much safer country to live in than Venezuela. And the third world countries are always the countries with the highest income inequality. And I'm pretty sure if dating apps continue, like men are gonna become the men that are incels are gonna start like shooting up schools more. I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, don't quote me, but I can see
Yeah,
the ability.
yeah. I feel like insults are a big problem, but I feel that's a topic for another day. Um, but yeah, the Grumpy Cat has a question for you about data science.
You should learn both. Solidity is more for blockchain and database, and Python is for machine learning or backend infrastructure.
Okay. Yeah, my other buddy does data science. He's always talking about programming stuff, and I never understand what he's talking about. So yeah. Hmm. It seems like the conversation is tending towards like the dating statistics more than like data science itself. Just funny. I feel
Everyone
like
know where we are on the curve. Or
yeah.
can I survive? Will I be able to procreate this century? The question we want to know.
Yeah. Oh god. That's crazy. Yeah.
Well, if you are a non-traditionally conventionally attractive person, you have to get yourself out there and hope for luck and don't be afraid of rejection. And unfortunately, that's why girls get plastic surgeries. And I can totally see that in the future, men will start doing that too. But for men, like anything can be off balance with money, whereas women can't really off balance being ugly with having more money.
Hmm.
So yeah,
It's true.
plastic surgery than men.
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think like the statistics show that like in on average, women um, maybe get more matches on these sites than men do. But I feel like if you're a guy and you're not having success with some of these apps, I feel like you're right. There's kind of a lot of stuff, even as far as having money or like life setup where you have a beautiful apartment and a nice car that can make up for being 5'7" or something, right? Like, and it's crazy to like talk about this stuff nonchalantly because it is kind of like taboo to say statements that are grounded in analytics. Like I do not want to be the guy who's disparaging a shorter guy, but like bro, the statistics like it's just a statistic, you know.
The absolute worst thing ever you can say to anyone is like, this is facts and there's nothing you can do to change it, okay? Everyone who has said to you otherwise has been lying to you and they're better. But so yeah, I understand why it's very tough to listen to these. But it's also like an ego problem, like a lot of guys also feel like, oh, they're better than women. So like now that they see that women get more choices, they're like, oh, I can't accept this.
Yeah, that's like a sad thing that like you start to notice nowadays is becoming more of a problem is guys on the internet. Like it's the rise of incels kind of. And like a lot of guys are like turning to hating women because they can't get them and it's like pretty messed up. And I
Yeah.
guess like I mean I guess just like spouting statistics at them won't help anything, but maybe telling somebody like, you know, um like just work on yourself, man. Like work out, maybe like make sure you look nice, like shower and stuff. Like a lot of that stuff can go a long way.
Brush your
So
teeth.
there you go. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you shouldn't have to maybe say that, but yes, that is
Yeah.
important.
I mean, statistics shows the truth and then the insights what you get out of it, right? Like you can look at this data and you can choose to improve yourself, or you can look at the data and hate the world. Either or, like the facts are there. You can't change it. You can't impact it much. You just have to take it or leave it. And it is brutal, but the world is not fair. And you can either, sob or you can just suck it up and then keep going.
Yeah, yeah. It reminds me a quote my mom just sent me today, and it was, if you choose, because she knows how much I love the snow. So she's like, this always reminds me of you. If you choose not to find joy in the snow, you'll still have the same amount of snow in your life, but less joy. So it's like, you gotta just, take it for what it is and try to see the silver lining, like be appreciative, and there you go, you'll be happier. Man, this is such a weird trajectory for a conversation. It's like data science, dating apps, data science, life advice. Like,
Well, that's the good thing about data. You get to discuss it so much. Like, that's why I chose to go into this field rather than software engineer, because software engineers definitely have way more opportunities, like way more work, easier to get in than data science just because of the sheer amount of needs for them. But you get to do more fun stuff as a data scientist. You get to bullshit, you get to like build graphs, and you get to like look at things. Um, and then you get to discuss it. But I do find that like the truth is pretty harsh, and maybe that's why people like build some beautiful picture and give people blue pills so that they can swallow it and then live their lives.
mm,
But it is tough because for some people, like it's not an option to get a lot of these privileges, like it is a privilege. I think that's why in the past they really promote monogamy. I think religion, like, although people shit on religion so much nowadays, I think religion has something right. Like, they were able to brainwash a bunch of people into doing the right thing that is supposedly better for society. Like, I was thinking about it. Like, they made sure that monogamy was a thing and they made everyone settle down. Like, doesn't matter who you get, you can't complain, you suck it up, you stick with that ugly guy for the rest of your life, like then everyone has a woman, sort of. And then you can like you don't drink, so you don't overindulge yourself in like stupid things. Um, and then the other data that I showed the other day is that people lose pair bonds as people, as in both men and women, not just women, because people always say like women lose pair bonds when, but no, it's not just women, it's both for men and women, that if you have more sexual partners, you're less likely to um, be happy in your marriage and more likely to be divorced. And that's why like religions kind of like forces people to be a virgin until they're married and stick with that person for the rest of their life, probably because it was good for society. Maybe. I don't know. This is my personal opinion and interpretation of it. But now we don't have any of that and we're back to the Wild West
yeah,
where
yeah.
the get everyone,
What?
where the chats get everyone.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a weird, yeah, it's weird. Never really thought of that. Yeah, I guess that was like largely religion that sort of impacted society to sort of be this way. Which yeah, I mean, it's probably good that it spread monogamy and stuff. That's probably a good thing. It's hard. It's kind of hard to commentate on like how promiscuity is like good or a bad thing. Like I'm sure it's good to an extent, but like what extent is that? Like you don't want people to like never like experience whatever. Like it's kind of hard to talk about, especially on TikTok, because I think you have to be kind of PG. Um, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But I'm sure like it's in every single religion books, right? Like although yes, there are some nuances that are different, but they all say the same thing. Don't have sex until you're married. Only stay with one partner for the rest of your life. Don't do drugs and alcohol to an extensive amount. Um, and they probably observe a lot of cases in the past and they distill that, okay, these are the way that we should all live our life. And then they build like some nice stories around it, and then they want people to do that because it's better for everyone. And
Mm.
now like people are no longer incentivized to settle down. If anything, like settling down early is almost like, huh, like what are you doing? Or like people are now like more focused on their career. I mean, like women focusing on their career isn't a bad thing because we do have like a population crisis. So that's also why like richer countries tend to have less children because probably because the women are now focusing on work rather than building a family. So over time, it kind of balances out in terms of population.
Mm.
Or like really expensive cities like San Francisco, it's too expensive for people to even start a family.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. A lot of
Yeah.
cities. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Grumpy Cat made a really good point. Like the Gini coefficient does say that if we are living in a more equal society, things are going to be better for everyone. So I mean, I haven't looked into the data for this yet, but that probably is something I want to look at is that whether or not like countries with religions where they enforce, monogamy, whether or not like that makes everyone better and there's less crime rates there and there's less income inequality because for sure like I already know that countries with high income inequality, it's a lot of crime. Like Canada has one of the lowest Gini coefficient, as in like it's one of the most equal, and it's the safest. Calgary is way more equal in income than Vancouver and Toronto, and I can feel the safety of this city compared to the other big cities.
mm.
Like it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just gonna read this thing here. I go to Cuba and there's zero crime and there's less police than America, even though everybody's poor. Oh, I guess yeah, it's still equal if everybody's poor. So maybe that's why it's safe. Or is it more punishment for if there's zero? Wow, I don't know. That's interesting. I've
It's,
never heard of the Gini coefficient or any of that, so I'm kind of
yeah,
new to
it's
that.
a popular economics term. I was gonna make a video on that actually because the Gini coefficients apply because I love economics. So before dating apps data, I've been looking at financial data for a long time. And when I'm looking at dating apps data, I'm like, wow, this is exactly the same as finance and economics data. This is crazy. There's economics in sexual market. Like that's why people call it sexual market value. Like they use all these like economics term because it applies the same way. But I think data naps definitely makes it a lot harder for people to be less superficial.
Yeah. Somebody said your hair is so cute. Thank you so much.
Oh, who he's referring to? Is it me or him?
I have a feeling it's not me, but I think we'll find out. Oh, what was I gonna say? Um, I was gonna ask if you ever like use your data science knowledge to like, um, if there's something you're interested in, you just because like with engineering, a lot of the time, if I was like, oh, I wonder about this, and I would just like look it up and figure out. Do you ever do that? You're like, oh, I wonder if this attribute influences this, then you just like figure it all out.
Yeah, I do that. Well, that's why I was re-looking at Gini coefficient and Lorentz curve today, and try to see examples of how to do that. Like I'm pretty sure that if you can find this for economics, you can find this for dating data, you can probably see the same effect in physics. And I'm sure like you like it because you're a mecha eng. So like maybe you can find like a graph that looks similar to some of the things that I've shown as well.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right. This guy mentioned Jordan Peterson. I love him. Revert to traditional gender roles. All true.
Person is a scientist. Like, like him, he is probably like he has looked at more graphs and psychology. Like he probably knows a lot of truths about the world. People just take what he says out of context, probably for the reason why my comment section is so heated as well. He's presenting something and hate the fact that he's saying this, and then because
It's so funny. You'll make a video. You'll be like, "Yeah, statistically, if you have more money, you'll have more sexual partners." And people will be like, "I hope your entire family gets in a car accident." Well, I don't understand it. The internet's such a weird place nowadays.
hey, yes, they have to let it out on someone. It's me, because I'm
Yeah.
the.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah, I mean with everyone, with like Andrew Tate, and like there's a lot of like talk about this stuff nowadays. I feel like more than like 2 years ago to now, there's probably like three times as much content about sort of some of the stuff we're talking about with like sexual marketplace and some of these trends in dating that are becoming more, I guess, illuminated with the more people talking about them. And then I guess with the more people talking about them, you have a larger population of people who feel offended by the statistics and stuff, and maybe that's why you see them more. But also people just like they're just so rude on the internet nowadays. Like you'll see a beautiful post about something and everyone will comment something negative, you know? So it's
Yeah.
weird.
Well, Andrew, like someone in the comment called me scientific Andrew Tate. I found it hilarious.
That's such a compliment. Oh my god.
And someone tagged me into another girl's video saying that like this girl thinks that she can give birth at 40. Like I don't know. And I'm like, yo, I'm not trying to get into anyone's
Oh my god.
business.
Oh, you have some fans here. She definitely loves Tate. I love Tate, but Minority Report with Tom Cruise. No, never seen that. Look, you're getting people are saying your graphs are amazing. They love your video.
Thank you.
What color is your Bugatti? Ooh,
I don't have a Bugatti.
I don't have a Bugatti either. Do you have a Bugatti? Imagine. Oh, well, we didn't really get into crypto, but maybe that I don't think that would have fit into this episode or video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Minority Report was about police who used algorithms to predict crime that didn't happen yet. Ah, yeah. I guess that makes sense. Like stuff like that might come up. I know like some company that was doing construction downtown Toronto. They were making a waterfront something. There was a lot of talk about installing face recognition cameras all along that like one area, and I know that's a thing in other countries. Definitely China does a lot. They have really good facial recognition stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I think a big problem with data too is I'm okay with it being shared, but I don't know the possibility of like of it getting say like hacked. You know, you look like you're about to laugh. What's up? What's up?
No. It's just kind of interesting because like I wish I can like filter out all of the section, like scrape out TikTok comment section and build like a sentiment analysis to see what people talk about, because I worked for an AI company before where their bread and butter is like this proprietary software where it scrapes all the data of like Twitter or Reddit and then it puts it into like sentiments, angry, disgust, happy,
Mm,
and then like summarize it based on what people say is the most. So it would be kind of interesting. But like our brain actually picks up patterns as well. Like, IQ test is essentially testing how well you can pick up on patterns. Like, literally, it's just a bunch of random shapes and then tell you like, okay, can you predict the next shape that would go into this, right? That's essentially data science.
mm-hmm.
Um, and so like if you if you can take that same skills without knowing math or data science or putting all of this together and you observe in the world, you probably can get the same type of conclusion or maybe similar, maybe not to the same accuracy, but you can confirm it with data because you might have your own like biases and such. But I'm sure that my videos are popular or Andrew Tate videos popular is because it is based on some truths that people do see but don't verbalize.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of more like data questions, but I think we're gonna get back to like dating questions.
If we know if they can procreate this century.
That's so funny. That's so out of pocket. Just like tagging you, be like, yeah, this bitch, this girl thinks she can get pregnant at 40. Like, and you're just like, I made a video with a graph, man. Love your graphs, straight to the facts. Hey, man, I wish people that watch my videos were in the comments like, yeah, I love you 1 hour a day.
You
Oh,
gotta
man.
be more controversial than Justin.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I'm so like bad with TikTok Live. Like, there's a red banner that just came up. I don't know what that was. It's
I don't know.
gone. Dude, I came across a girl that did that. Wait, I need this guy to elaborate. What that did what? Got pregnant at 40? I'm confused. What are we talking about? In mm. Oh, red banners for gifts. Oh, she's 45. So you have a friend that got pregnant at 45. I see. I see. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I do see that happening, like even within my own family. Like my mom gave birth to me at 38, but I'm her second child. And that's what I see in a lot of the comments in the fertility question. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm just saying it's lower and more likely to develop these diseases, you know? Like you are sitting here on TikTok, of course there's a bias already. Like the people who have Down syndrome is probably not going to be commenting on my videos right now. Just gonna be like
Oh my god.
the outliers, not the rule. And like, but even like my aunt had kids when she's in her early to mid 40s. She's still taking care of them now. Like she has to work like for a long time, and I don't.
Mm,
It's probably like good to have kids when you're still young, but nowadays, like people don't want to settle down and have kids early anymore. Like some do. I still see it. I also want to settle down and have kids in my late 20s and latest by early 30s. But I feel like men are such a flight risk now. Like, why does everyone not want to settle down? Like, tell me.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't want to like settle down for like years still, I think. I mean, if I find the right person like 2 years from now, maybe, yeah. But I think there's a lot of commentary nowadays directed to young men telling them, work on yourself, like don't settle down, don't get that mortgage. If you just work on yourself for 5 more years, you could be better financially, you could have that business started, you won't have regrets, this, that. So there's a lot of that. Like I've been seeing a lot of that, like I said, in the last year or two, that's just like, increased exponentially in the coverage it gets. So that might be part of the thing. It just seems sort of like a trend in the last, I don't know, maybe you've seen the data, but over the last like 50 years, it seems like the age that people are having kids is just slowly increasing. So,
Thing you mean?
I don't know.
People have
Sorry?
people having kids to be slowly decreasing?
Like, I mean, yeah, the rate in developed countries for sure, but I just mean like the age that people are having kids. I'll talk to my grandparents and they're like, oh yeah, I had my kids at 20 or 18 or something, and then, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Like people are delaying it further and further, especially for the guys. Like for whatever reason, like I hear this a lot. Like I never looked into the data for this. I don't even think that there's even data for this. So it's purely anecdotal, but a lot of the guys say that, oh, I want to focus on my career and I don't want to settle down right now. So they strung their girlfriend in a long-term relationship for years. And then she hits 30 and she's like, yo, I want to get kids. Are you going to marry me or what? And then he's like, actually, I don't want to yet because I want to settle down. So then the woman has to leave. And when she leaves, she's 30 and back in the market. And again, back to my graph. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
her, her market value is a lot lower now, and she has to settle for someone, maybe not her first choice anymore. And that guy is still floating around thinking he's the shit, and then like trying to get like girls that are a lot younger than him. And maybe that explains like my other graph where like the big age gap is very small. Like maybe those really high income guy um, waited and then get a really young girl, and that's a privilege they was able to afford by building their wealth. But the majority is still married people at the same age as them.
Mm. Yeah, okay. I guess it's easy to think like when you have people like Leonardo DiCaprio, who's just perpetually dating like 22-year-olds as he gets older. Um, I don't know. Yeah, it's an interesting topic. I feel like I'm not that qualified to talk about too much of this because I'm only 24. I'm not even like 30 yet.
Aren't you the same age as me? When is your birthday?
It's in December.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. So you're old then, eh? 25.
Well, I just turned 25 last month, but thank you for calling me old.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. You know, I called Shireen old. She didn't like that.
Well, you know why women don't like to be called old?
No.
For a back because apparently men don't want us when we're old.
Yeah. There's a lot of comments here. Let's see. I feel like I missed a ton of them. When it's opposite, if you're single, okay. For a guy, negative birth rate. I heard Elon Musk call birth rate decline like the biggest problem that we're facing, which is
Yeah, that's
interesting.
popping out 10 kids. He literally has
Yeah.
a team.
Wait, what?
Well, he has so many kids, and he has kids with multiple women too. Like he's trying to be like Genghis Khan of this economy.
Hmm. It's true. I mean, he's kind of succeeding. What his ex-wife Grimes? I'm pretty sure she was quite a bit younger than him, if I remember right. She
It
was
was like
also like
30 years younger.
what?
Oh, she was almost 30.
30? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Big
Pretty
difference.
not gonna be the youngest. He's gonna get a younger one.
Mm,
But you know, like,
true. God, I would
oh,
date him. It's Elon Musk, man.
you would date.
Dude, I mean like, okay, I'm definitely straight, but like I would date him for like a month and just buy him like a Lamborghini and then like leave.
Okay,
Okay,
sure.
wait. No, this we're gonna cut this part out when we edit the video. I didn't mean anything I just said, okay? Let's just move on. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's funny. Tips for being hot babe, please. What the heck?
This girl's trying to get a husband, a rich husband. You know how you get a rich husband? You find a really old guy. That's because, okay, listen, I have a theory, okay? And I really hope I'm not gonna be banned from you, like from TikTok for saying this. But okay, all of the guys that are ambitious, they're gonna like work really hard when they're young, but they still need intimacy and sex needs. So what they get is a girlfriend, a placeholder, where they string along and they do all these couple stuff, but you know, they're never gonna pop a ring. They're always gonna be like, honey, I'm not ready yet. I wanna reach manager position yet. And when they reach manager, I'm like, honey, I'm not ready. I wanna reach CEO position. And then the girl hits 30 and then she's like, yo, are you gonna marry me or what? And he's gonna be like, oh, actually I'm not ready right now and I'm not going to give you a kid. So the girl leaves because, well, it's either that or being strung along for another 10 years. Um, and then he's going to continue dating some girl who's like 5 to 10 years younger and then string her along again for another 10 years. And then he hits 40. And maybe by then he's ready to get married. And he probably will get another 20-year-old with the amount of money he gets. So the only way for you to get those rich guys is to date older because they want a younger girl.
I guess there you go. There's your advice. Damn, she thought about this before.
Literally, that's like the dating apps data shows it. You know, you just kind of put the pieces together, and then
Yeah.
for anecdotes as well. Like I've heard so many, like the ambitious guys, they always want to like delay as much as possible because they think that but like the only reason why men want to gather as much resources as possible is that they can get a hot young wife. You know, like by the time he reaches that level, you're not going to be hot and young anymore.
Mm,
Well, it's kind of
mm.
an ugly way to look at it, but it is almost like on a lot of cases it is true. It's not always true, of course, but there are definitely a segment of the world that where this is true.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's very true. Um, yeah, I think it's kind of crazy when you like get deep into it because like everything just seems absolutely crazy. You know what I mean? Like the fact that I guess that's how a lot of people view it. Some people don't view it that way, and they'll just like happily say settle for somebody that they're kind of into. Some people won't. I don't know. It's a lot,
Well,
man.
if you want a stable
Don't
husband,
hate the player.
you get someone that is like not that ambitious, so
Sorry.
you can around. But if you want like a rich guy, like that girl says, like how do I become hot to get a rich guy? Well, just like go for older guys. They'll automatically think you're hot because you're young. You know,
Hmm.
for those girls that wants to do that. But if you want to find a rich and young guy, like that's hard. That's statistically hard too. And also
Yeah,
like
makes
young
sense.
and they're still building, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Well, I don't know. You think that's enough
Yeah, that's probably enough for today.
dating talk?
Maybe. Well,
Okay.
everyone loved this talk. I feel like
That
we're
was
so
good. It was a good chat. Hmm.
no.
Hmm.
You should like.
I don't really necessarily agree with everything.
Yeah, I don't think.
All the what?
I don't think we're creating any toxic culture. It's like blaming the peahen for the peacock's tail. Like that's weird, you know. Like it's just nature. Can
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah,
really
yeah. I totally agree.
say like, why did you choose this beautiful peacock to procreate with? Like we can't really blame that.
Mm. Yeah, I think I think men and women kind of do the same thing. Like it's easy to oh you're driving, bro. Do not do not type and drive. My guy, this TikTok video is not worth dying for. But you can listen, I guess. So yeah, like I think men and women do the same thing really. Like it's easy for a guy to be like, "Oh, women want this tall, rich, good-looking blah guy." But as a guy, like you also want like desirable traits in a woman. So it's like it's definitely unfair to blame either gender. I think you just gotta just like do what you can and not be like hateful of anyone.
What do women want? Oh, what? Sorry. What do men want in a woman?
Uh I think it depends on the guy. Like for me, um, oh man, this there's a lot to get into. I mean, okay, obviously, like beautiful is important. Uh, I don't think like young is like important. Like
You're
I'm
young.
20.
Is
Yeah, I'm
young.
still young. Okay, okay, you're right, you're right. Um, I mean, I'm into a lot of stuff like eating healthy, working out, like reading, journaling, all that stuff. And so I find those traits, if somebody has those like habits or like is kind of on that path, I find that like more desirable than if somebody was like eating junk food all the time and like wanting whatever, right? So that type of stuff. I want somebody who will like uh be like a good mother to kids, right? Like I think that's like a pretty normal trait to somebody want. Like I wanna raise like some pretty dope kids, and I want somebody who's gonna be like a good parent with me and like instill good values in the kids and whatnot. I don't know. I'm also like not looking for any of that stuff right now, so it's like kind of hard to put it all into words when I'm not really searching for it. You know,
Makes sense.
men only want beauty and loyalty. Um, I mean, those are probably two of like the biggest traits, I guess. Yeah. Loyalty is obviously important. Promiscuous women give away what men value to the wrong men, then expect a good man to take her. Oh man, that's some like I don't know. I don't agree with that type of stuff. You know, like that's you don't need to be hating on women or anything.
Yeah, I don't like that. Those are the comments I don't like.
Yeah. Yeah, but also stop typing while you're driving, my guy, you know. I don't want anybody to die here. Okay. Maybe to make sure this guy gets home safe, we'll end the thing so he can't type anymore. How's that sound?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay. Well, yeah, it was a really good talk. Yeah, maybe we can like think in advance of how to like direct the conversation towards crypto or data science, or if we want to talk about this stuff. I love your data. You have so many people that like your data, man. What the heck? I love your crafts. Oh shit. I love your. Oh wow. Okay. Go off. Go off.
Who needs a
Yeah.
boyfriend anymore when I can just go and get all the attention I need?
Yeah. There you go. Oh. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess we'll be back this time next Monday for sure. And yeah, I don't know. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for talking, Anne.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
And
Peace out.